Hello, it's Selena from Impero. This week's question is from Diana. Diana is looking at setting up a tea shop after she has gone to China and she's just totally fallen in love with this tea thing. Before that, she was already a tea drinker. But she's just asking, okay, so we obviously can sell a lot of teas, but to be exact, what tea should we actually sell? She's needing some help to narrow down her range. And she's also looking at private labeling, a lot of them, which basically means that, when it comes to private label, you really need to be a little bit more specific than just a generic tea shop. Because if you think about, like, you walk into a tea shop, often you think about a lot of tea packages, and, many different variety, maybe 30, 40, 50 kinds of tea. And, you're just kind of going for gold, kind of like a lolly shop kind of concept. But with private label, often it would be a little bit more trimmed down, a little bit more focused. So that might be, say, for example, a particular kind of properties that you're going for, or maybe a particular kind of flavor. You might even have a particular kind of brand that you are trying to adhere to. So, like say if your brand is, sort of like the 1920s kind of thing, then you probably are looking for, things that are sort of give you that yesteryear kind of feeling. So going back to the tea selection, what we ended up looking at is firstly, what customer is she trying to serve? What would she be comfortable selling? So for example, when she went to China, she learned a lot about green tea and oolong, and she's fallen in love with those teas, and that's fantastic. So that would be her key. Versus some of the other people, you might be someone who's been drinking English breakfast since, much younger. And, that is the sort of tea that you're familiar with and like, so you probably will have a more black tea focus in your range. The other thing I want you to have a think about, and that's what we talked to Diana as well, is what tea would actually be your unique selling point, because it's good and all to have English breakfast and chamomile and so on in your range. But if you're really trying to narrow down the range, like you're not wanting to sell 30, 50, because your calling card is not about you have all the teas around the world, but you are selecting a particular range for a reason, then you probably want to, skip those very generic tea that people can actually just go to the supermarket to buy it. You really have to think about this. If you have English breakfast and they can pick it up from Coles and Woolies, why do they want to come to you? Why do they want to spend more? There is an education involved, obviously, you can do to get them to help them to answer that question, why they should come to buy your English breakfast. But the initial phase, those teas are going to be difficult to sell to a degree because your customer may not really understand, why they buy from you. So if you are really trying to select your range, narrow it down, let's just say, 10, somewhere between 10 to 20 teas, you might not necessarily want to find, just go for an English breakfast. For example, what you could do is say, okay, here's your good old generic English breakfast, but we can do one step further. We can do better than that. We can step up the game, give you a Assam, and explain that this is, a better English breakfast tea in some ways. So you can really, look into, something a bit more specific, something a bit more enticing than just say, oh, this is popular, so I have to carry it. Because then you're not really committing to that product. And when you're not committing to it, it's much harder for your customer to feel that it is something special. I want to pick it up here rather than just, again, Coles or Woolies. So there you have a little short clip on how to select your range. It's really two things. Basically, why you want to sell those tea, and then look at, the range that you want, to go for, what kind of feel you want to project from your brand, like a tea shop that have oodles and oodles of varieties, or, a tea specialist that have got a smaller range. So, have a bit of a think about that. And thanks, Diana. It was great talking to you. And of course, this question has earned you a gift pack, a little tea gift pack. And anyone else, if you have a question, don't be shy. through it our way, and we can answer them for you, whether it's on the phone or on a video. And if it is on a video like this one, then you'll get a special gift pack as well. So again, I hope this is useful information to you, and if you like this video, do like it, yes, send us your question and we'll be more than happy to help you. I'll catch you next time.